Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah, and with me today, as always, is my awesome co-host, Bill. Hi, Bill.
Hey, Sarah. Hello to all our amazing listeners. We're super excited you're joining us today.
Yes, because today's episode is a really important one. We're talking about how to do a real job interview in English.
If you've ever felt nervous about going to a job interview, especially in English, then this episode is for you. We'll guide you step by step, from preparation to answering common questions, and even do a practice interview.
That's right. Whether you're applying for your first job or aiming for a professional position, speaking English confidently in an interview can open big doors.
We'll also share practical tips, useful phrases, common mistakes to avoid, and most importantly, help you sound natural and confident.
So grab a notebook or just relax and listen this episode. We'll give you the skills you need for a successful job interview in English.
Let's get started.
Before we get into the step-by-step tips, let's talk about something we all experience: nerves. Job interviews can be scary, and when they're in English, even scarier.
Oh yes, many English learners feel nervous because they're worried about grammar mistakes, forgetting words, or not understanding the interviewer.
Absolutely. And that's totally normal. Even native speakers feel nervous in interviews sometimes. You're not alone.
I remember one time I was helping a friend prepare for an interview at an international company. He was really qualified, but he kept saying, "What if I forget the word I need?" And I told him, that's okay. You don't have to be perfect. You just need to communicate clearly and confidently.
That's such a great point, Bill. The goal isn't to be perfect. It's to connect, to show who you are, and to show that you can do the job. And yes, to speak clearly, even if your English is simple.
Right. And here's something helpful to remember. Interviewers are usually patient and understanding, especially when they know English isn't your first language. They're not looking for perfect English, they're looking for the right person.
Exactly. So today, we want to help our listeners feel less nervous, more prepared, and ready to speak English with more confidence.
And remember, the more you practice, the more natural it feels. So let's keep going and talk about how to prepare for your English job interview.
All right, so let's say you've got an interview coming up. How do you get ready for it? Especially if it's in English.
Good question. First, start with vocabulary. Learn and practice common job interview words and phrases. For example, words like resume, position, responsibilities, strengths, teamwork, deadline, goals, and so on.
Right. And also phrases like, I'm a good fit for this position because, or, in my previous job, I was responsible for those, will help you sound professional and prepared.
Exactly. You don't need to memorize everything, but being familiar with this language will make you feel more confident. And here's another tip. Research the company before the interview.
Yes! Look at their website, their mission, what they do. Learn about the job role. Then try to think about how your experience connects to that.
That way, when they ask, "Why do you want to work here?" you'll have a real answer, not just, "Because I need a job."
Haha, exactly. And let's not forget practicing common interview questions. You can practice alone or with a friend or even record yourself speaking.
Here's a small trick. If you record yourself and listen back, you'll notice how you sound and what you can improve. Do you pause too much? Do you say or too often? Are you clear?
That's a great exercise. And don't forget about nonverbal communication like smiling, eye contact, and body language. Even if your English isn't perfect, showing confidence through your face and body helps a lot.
Definitely. Sit up straight. Smile gently and nod when listening. These small actions show that you're friendly and professional.
One more thing, prepare your own questions for the end of the interview. That shows interest and confidence. You could ask, what does a typical day in this role look like? Or what are the next steps in the hiring process?
That's a great point, Sarah. It also turns the interview into a conversation, not just a test. And that's what we want.
Yes. So, to recap, learn some key vocabulary, research the company, practice answering questions, watch your body language, and prepare your own questions. This is the foundation of a strong interview.
And now that we're prepared, let's dive into some of the most common English interview questions and how to answer them like a pro.
Okay, it's time for the main part of the episode. We're going to go through the most common English job interview questions, and we'll share natural ways to answer them.
That's right. We'll take turns asking and answering the questions, and we'll explain each one as we go. Let's get started.
So, Bill, tell me a little about yourself.
Sure. I have over 5 years of experience in customer service. I started my career in retail, and now I work in a call center where I help customers solve technical problems. I'm passionate about helping people and improving their experience with the company.
Great example. Notice how Bill didn't talk about his personal life. He focused on his work background and skills. That's what interviewers want.
Exactly. Keep it short, professional, and connected to the job you're applying for.
All right, Bill, what would you say is one of your strengths?
I would say one of my strengths is communication. I'm good at explaining things clearly and listening to customers' needs. This helps me solve problems quickly and build trust.
Perfect. Always give a real skill and support it with an example or a short explanation. That makes it believable.
Okay, Sarah, this one's tricky. What's one of your weaknesses?
I'd say I can be a little too detail-oriented. Sometimes I spend extra time checking everything twice. But I've been working on this by setting time limits for myself, and it's helping me manage my tasks better.
Great strategy! The key here is to show self-awareness and explain how you're improving. Don't say, "I work too hard." That sounds fake.
Why do you want to work at this company?
I admire your company's commitment to innovation and customer service. I've read about your recent projects, and I'd love to be part of a team that values creativity and teamwork. I believe my experience can really contribute here.
That's excellent to show you did your research and that your goals match the company's mission.
Sarah, can you give an example of a work challenge and how you handled it?
Sure. At my last job, we had a major system crash during a busy shift. Customers were waiting and frustrated. I stayed calm, explained the issue clearly to each customer, and gave updates while the team worked to fix it. In the end, many customers thanked us for our honesty and support.
Very nice. The structure here is problem, action, result. Always a strong formula.
And finally, the golden question. Do you have any questions for us?
Yes, I do. Can you tell me more about the training process for new employees? I'd also like to know what the team culture is like.
Fantastic. Never say no, I don't have any questions. It's your chance to show you're truly interested in the job.
So those are some of the most common and important job interview questions in English.
Remember, practice these out loud. You can even write down your answers and rehearse them before the interview.
And don't try to memorize a script word for word. Focus on the ideas and say them naturally in your own way.
Exactly. Coming up next, we'll do a real-time mini interview so you can hear how a real conversation sounds. All right, listeners, now it's time for a real-time job interview simulation. Bill will be the interviewee, and I'll be the interviewer. Let's imagine this is for a customer service representative position at an international tech company.
Sounds good. I'm ready.
Hi, Bill. Thank you for coming in today. Let's start with something simple. Can you tell me a little about yourself?
Sure. I've been working in customer service for over 5 years. I started in retail and then moved into tech support, where I help customers solve product issues over the phone and by email. I enjoy working with people and finding solutions that make their day easier.
Great. Why are you interested in working with our company?
I've followed your company for a while and really admire your focus on innovation and customer experience. I think your values match mine, and I'd love to contribute my communication skills to help your customers.
That's good to hear. Can you tell me about a time you dealt with a difficult customer?
Yes. Once, a customer was frustrated because their order didn't arrive on time. I listened carefully, apologized for the delay, and offered a free upgrade to show we cared. By the end of the call, they were satisfied and even left a positive review. I believe patience and empathy really make a difference.
Excellent response. What would you say is one of your strengths?
Definitely communication. I'm good at explaining technical problems in a way that customers understand. It helps reduce stress and builds trust.
And what's one area you're working to improve?
I tend to be a perfectionist. Sometimes I spend too much time making things perfect. But I'm learning to balance quality with efficiency by setting personal deadlines.
Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I'd love to know more about the training process for new employees and how success is measured in this role.
Great questions. Thank you, Bill. We'll be in touch soon. And that's how a real English job interview might sound.
We kept the answers clear, natural, and professional, and we didn't use complex or fancy vocabulary. Just confidence and connection.
Exactly. And remember, practice like this at home. Try switching roles with a friend or even talk to yourself in the mirror.
Coming up next, we'll talk about what to do after the interview and how to follow up professionally in English.
Now let's talk about something really important: confidence and fluency during your English job interview.
Yes, because even if you have the right answers, if you sound nervous or hesitate too much, the interviewer might not feel confident in you.
Exactly. So here are a few tips to help you speak more smoothly and confidently in English. Whether smooth.
Read your answers out loud. Record yourself. Listen back. This helps you hear your mistakes and also build rhythm and flow.
Don't try to sound fancy. Use clear, simple English that's easy to say and easy to understand. That's more professional than using big words incorrectly.
Yes, speak slowly and clearly. It's okay to pause and think. You don't have to rush. Calm speech shows confidence.
Even in a phone or video interview, smiling helps. Good posture, eye contact, and a calm tone make a big difference in how you come across.
And remember, fluency doesn't mean perfect English. It means being able to express your ideas comfortably and naturally.
Exactly. You've got this. And coming up next, what to do after the interview to leave a great final impression. Before we wrap up, let's go over some common mistakes people make in English interviews and how to avoid them.
Yes, because even one small mistake can affect the whole impression. Let's go through the big one.
Don't try to memorize all your answers word for word. It makes you sound robotic, and if you forget a word, you'll panic.
Instead, learn key ideas and practice saying them in different ways. Trying to use big words to sound smart can actually backfire. If you don't use them naturally, they sound awkward or confusing.
Use clear, simple vocabulary that fits your level and say it with confidence. Some people speak too fast when they're nervous, others speak too quietly.
Just relax. Speak at a natural pace and make sure your voice is clear and confident.
At the end, if they ask, "Do you have any questions?" say, "Yes."
Not asking shows a lack of interest. Ask something thoughtful, like about the company culture or training.
Avoid these mistakes, and you'll already be ahead of many other candidates.
Coming up next, the final section, how to follow up after the interview. The right way.
We're almost at the end of today's episode. Before we finish, Bill, do you have any final tips or encouragement for our listeners preparing for their English job interview?
Definitely, Sarah. First, remember that every interview is a learning experience. Even if you don't get the job, you'll get better each time you practice.
That's such an important point. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're part of the process, the more you try. Thank you so much for joining us today on the English Learning Podcast. We hope this episode gave you useful tools and confidence to ace your next job interview in English.
Yes. Remember, practice is key. Prepare, rehearse, and believe in yourself. You have the skills to succeed.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with friends who are also learning English.
And if you have any questions or topics you want us to cover, leave a comment or message us. We love hearing from you.
Thanks again for listening. Good luck with your interviews, and we'll see you next time on English Learning Podcast.
Take care, everyone. Keep practicing and keep improving.